Hello and a very warm welcome. Race 2 at China done. And first of all, I'm glad I'm not a weatherman because 90% chance of rain was predicted for today's race. It didn't rain once. Yes, the track was wet from previous rain before, but it didn't rain during the race. Today, basically, fantastic. A lot better than Australia. We saw good wheel-to-wheel action. I enjoyed it personally. Max, again, another masterclass by this Max Verstappen. I'm going to keep calling him Max. But Dutch people should be proud. Holland have produced a megastar. He's in a Red Bull. Red Bull are not even competitive compared to Mercedes and Ferrari. And again, I've done a previous video when he was in Toro Rosso. He will be a world champion. Go back and watch it. Brazil, megastar. In wet conditions, goes from 15th to 3rd, passing cars left, right and centre. Today again, his start, it's Fernando Alonso-esque. I'm passionate talking about it, it just excites me. Brilliant. Dutchies, you must be proud. But today, I think I'm going to go through every driver's race and do it that way and see how that works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But basically, I'm going to do a race reaction to every race. I think we've got 21 this year, so we're on race 2 at China. Lewis Hamilton wins. Dominant. 54th win of his career. He's gonna have to win a lot more to catch Schumacher's 91 wins. I don't think he's going to do that, but he's comfortably second in all-time wins. Led from start to finish. Looked good, nice and comfortable. There's not much to say really, is there? I mean, good strategy, good pit stops. Just a dominant display by the 3-time champion. I'm very happy. I'm a Hamilton fan, so yeah. Next, we'll get on to Vettel. So, first Hamilton, second Vettel. And people said about Sebastian Vettel. I mean, I think for me, he pitted a bit too early. Went too early. But he goes in the pits, and then the virtual safety car, and then the safety car came out. But we'll get on to Giovinazzi in a bit. But people said about Vettel, oh, he's all right at the front when he's dominating in Red Bull. He can lead from the front, but he can't overtake. Well, what did we see? After the safety car cost him, he got stuck behind Raikkonen. Raikkonen's behind Ricciardo for 10-15 laps, can't get the job done. Vettel, turn 6, goes down the inside of Kimi, and then goes round the outside of Ricciardo. Big bollocks by Vettel, 2 world-class overtakes. And in 2016, he passed 2 cars in the pit lane. So, Vettel, great overtakes today. Goes around the outside of Ricciardo, they bang wheels. But that's what we want to see, this close racing. I'm passionate talking about it because I just love this sport. Fantastic. Australia was a snooze fest, not very good. Personally, I thought today's race was decent. Third place for Max. I'm just gonna call him Max so I don't get called up on it. Third Max. Starts 16th on the grid, or 17th. I think it was 16th, and he finishes 3rd. Red Bull don't have the pace compared to Mercedes and Ferrari. He's a breath of fresh air. He will be a world champion. I did a previous video when he was in Toro Rosso saying he'd be a world champion. I did the Brazil when he was just sensational, stunning drive at Brazil in the wet. And I'm going to be proved right. I'm sorry to say, I don't want to sound big-headed, but Max will be a world champion. He's got all the makings. I mean, even when the podium interviews, Hamilton was in amazement. Hamilton says, you can't overtake in these cars, but this guy, Max, does. So I'm going to have to watch his videos and see how he does it, because he's a megastar. He's exciting. He gets you off your seat. Even if you're not Dutch, or even if you're not a fan of him, he still gets you off your seat. I mean, his start was Fernando Alonso-esque. I mean, he starts 16th and ends up, by the end of the first lap, he was 7th. So, just amazing. Good strategy as well by Red Bull. It was a bit close at the end with Ricciardo, and we'll come on to Ricciardo now. Ricciardo fourth. Basically, good. He held off Raikkonen for lap after lap. Vettel got past him. And then there was a big battle at the end between Max and Ricciardo. But Max was complaining a bit about Grosjean holding him up. But I think Grosjean was too far ahead, to be honest. Raikkonen fifth. Another disappointing day by Raikkonen, really. Just didn't... I mean, you see, Raikkonen, 10 or 15 laps behind Ricciardo. Vettel was punchy, got the job done. But Kimi's track is coming up next. He'll bounce back in Bahrain. He goes well around Bahrain. And yeah, Kimi will bounce back. But he's been pretty disappointing in first two races compared to Sebastian. Bottas 6. Bottas, not a good day for him. Poor pit stop. Under the safety car, he spins. I mean, you cannot be doing that when you're driving for Mercedes. Come on. Rookie mistake. And Bottas is not a rookie. Just not good enough. When you're driving for Mercedes and you're spinning under the safety car, not good enough. And then he spun again on the grass. But he did quite well to come back to 6, but disappointing by Valtteri. Sainz. And now, probably... At the start of the race, everyone went intermediates. Sainz goes on dry tyres. Now, he has got big bollocks. Basically, lights out, we're away. He's basically last because he just can't pull away from his grid box. Goes straight on at turn 1. But massive bollocks to go on dries. I'm surprised Sauber or McLaren didn't take that risk, to be honest. Great drive by Sainz. 7th place, hugely underrated. And for me, I want to see Carlos Sainz leave the Red Bull program. Just leave. You're no good in Toro Rosso because basically he's never getting promoted to the Red Bull. Red Bull are set up for years with Max and Ricciardo. So Sainz, leave the Red Bull program. And when I think Kimi's last year this year, try and get in the Ferrari. For me. He's hugely underrated. Next, 8th place is Magnussen. And Max got driver of the day. In my honest opinion, Max was world class, sensational again. I take my hat off to him. But for me, my driver of the day was Magnussen. He's not been on a great run of form recently. Big confidence boost for K-Mag. And yeah, he gets my driver of the day. I know Max won it officially, but... on here, K-Mag gets my driver of the day. Next, we got Sergio Perez. First lap, Perez and Stroll have contact. No one got a penalty for it though. Racing incident. I think it was 50-50. Stroll had the corner, but he didn't leave enough space for Perez. Yeah, I don't like the look of the Force India. Simple as that. Ocon is 10th. Good drive by him. Not much to really say. Grosjean started back because he got a penalty. No, not really much to say on Grosjean either. And then we've got Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg and Palmer. We're 11th. 12th, Hulkenberg. Yeah, struggled when he got the dries on. Palmer also got a penalty for not slowing down under yellows, so he struggled. Then we've got Massa, Massa is well known for not being good in wet conditions. We only had wet conditions for about first 10 laps, and then the track just dried out and everyone was running dries. And then we've got Ericsson in last. I mean, let's be my honest opinion, Ericsson's not good enough. Not good enough. If I was Sauber team principal, Manisha Kaltenborn, I would say Ericsson dropped Verline if he ever comes back from this so-called back injury or whatever is up with him, and I would stick Giovinazzi in. Right, we've got DNFs now, people who didn't finish. We'll start with Giovinazzi because we might as well. Basically gone from hero to zero. Great debut in Australia. Crashes in qualifying and crashes in the race. unfortunate. He had a gearbox penalty. He started like 18th, I think it was. He's just, I know he wants to impress, but he's just pushing that bit too much. I know you've got to push in F1, but he's going over, he's just pushing too hard. Ericsson goes off and gets the power down, thinking he's going to get past his teammate, sticks it in the wall again. Yeah, it's cost the team a lot of damage costs this weekend. I like Giovinazzi, but he's just pushing that little too much. Next, we've got Stroll, contact with Perez. Not Stroll's fault. It was just a 50-50 racing incident. He'll bounce back. Next, we've got Stoffel. I think it was a fuel issue by Stoffel. Danny Kvyat pulled off lap 18. Don't really know what was up with him. He was running in the points, I believe, and then he retired. And then we come on to the two-time champion of the world, Fernando Alonso. You can hear the passion in my voice about this sport that I love. And everyone watching this video should love. Because I think I'm going to call it race. I'm going to do every race this year. Race 2, China, Hamilton wins. Once again, Max, Masterclass, something like that I'll call the video. But Alonso is running in 7th. Sainz comes past him. He's not really racing Sainz because Sainz went in for new tyres. Alonso's in 8th. He's in 8th. He's in the points. Australia, he was comfortably in 10th. The car lets him down with a suspension problem. He's comfortably in the points at China. He's running in P8. Perez and Ocon and Magnussen were miles behind him. And basically, he's running in 8th and the car lets him down again. It's frustrating. You know I'm a Hamilton fan, but it's just frustrating. A two-time champion like Fernando Alonso. I think he should leave McLaren now because honestly, it's getting beyond a joke. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough, is it? A two-time champion like Alonso deserves better. I would not be surprised if Alonso is like, you know what, get the reserve driver in because I can't be arsed with this bollocks. I'll come back next year and find a new drive because it's just not good enough. 2 DNFs by Honda, just not good enough. Have I covered everything? I've got a few bullet points here. We've covered every driver. Max, just amazing. He is the future of F1. Great start. Like I said before, 16th to 7th. Some great overtaking as well. Round the outside of Kimi. Puts a big ballsy move on smiling assassin Daniel Ricciardo. He's just a megastar. Future world champion, 1000%. I've already put my balls on the line twice, saying he'll be a world champion. He will be a world champion. He just needs to get the car underneath him. Red Bull, let's be honest, they're the 3rd best team. He'd be lucky to win a race this year, let alone the championship. But once Red Bull get it sorted, he can take it to Ricciardo 100%. And I rate both drivers. Great lineup for Red Bull, but he needs the car underneath him. So, bullet points. Hamilton and Vettel level on 43 points. They've both got a win and a 2nd place, so 43. Bottas spin under the safety car. I've got that written down. Embarrassing. Not good enough. When you're driving for Mercedes, you've got to perform. I know it's only his 2nd race, but that's not good enough. It's embarrassing. F1 fails. Under the safety car in your spin. Not even Nico Rosberg did anything like that. I've got Perez hit Stroll. Again, 50-50 for me. Stroll, he didn't really give Perez enough room, but Stroll had the corner. Perez had like half a tyre alongside. Alonso in the points. Yet again, his car lets him down. I've got written down here. Yeah, not good enough. We've covered that. And yeah, I've just got the video title. So that's done. 15 minutes we're going. Let me know if you like that concept of me covering every driver, or whether you'd rather me just go Hamilton first, 2nd Vettel, 3rd, and then just talk about the race. I enjoyed the race, not gonna lie. Oh, and one point I want to make. A big up to the Chinese fans. Practice 1 and practice 2 was a shambles. They should have been refunded. Hamilton goes to throw the caps. Practice 3 and qualifying fantastic, but the Chinese crowd on race day, phenomenal. So passionate about the sport. The grandstand absolutely packed. That's what we want to see. Races like Germany, Baku, we hardly see anyone in the crowd, and China absolutely packed the grandstand. They're passionate fans, these Chinese fans. It reminds me of the Japan fans when they have the DRS signs for like Honda and McLaren. Very passionate. But I enjoyed the Chinese weekend. I went on a bit of a rant, practice 1 and practice 2, not acceptable. But from practice 3 to the race, phenomenal. I really enjoyed the race. Vettel getting big bollocks. These overtakes for Max again. Big bollocks. Future world champion 100%. Let me know your thoughts on the race. We go on to Bahrain, and I will probably do a Bahrain preview, as I did with the Chinese. I reckon Kimi, I mean, he's had a 4th and a 5th. I reckon he's going to bounce back in Bahrain. He goes well around that track. Under the floodlights. It's night race now, isn't it, around Bahrain? Every time I think of Bahrain, I think of that epic battle between Hamilton and Rosberg in 2014. Hopefully we get a bit more of that. 17 minutes we've been going. Yeah, comment. If you leave a comment, I'll always reply. That is the one thing about me. If you've got the time to watch my video and comment, I've got the time to reply. So no matter if it's one comment or 1,100 comments, I'll always reply. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. And I'll see you next time. Probably for the Bahrain preview. Adios. Catch you next time.